going live. 3, 2, 1. You're alive. Hello and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Someday I'm going to get that time just right. And tonight we got a great show for you. And I got my co-host Trina Phoenix on and our special guest, slightly slanted Sleuth Steve. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Good to see everybody. Thank you, Robert.
Nice.
Yes, it's going to be a good show. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. We're going to go back into history. We're going to go into the future. We're going to be the Explorer race. Now, I've been doing this series lately about the Explorer race, and it's been blowing my mind how this was a channeled book. And if you haven't read it, there's a bunch of these books out there, and it's really made me question things. And this is how this whole show come about, because I'm questioning, what are we here for? And people can give a million answers. Why is there so much negativity? What and what does negativity do? Why do we got positive and negative? You got to have a positive and negative, and the negative brings out creativity, because so you got to have some negative. But right now, I think we have too much negative. According to what I've seen, we got 46% negative when we should only have 2% negative. And where do we start with, and how do we start changing that negative into a positive? And why are we doing this in the first place? Are our brains wired this way to think that these things are good? Here's an experiment. Have you written down how many times? I haven't done it, but I started counting, and I went off the charts in a little bit. Every time you think negatively, do something negatively versus positive. I mean, really.
I've never done that.
No, but I mean, I just started thinking about it. It's
I brought out a paper. My pencil would go dull.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And for me, my first question is how can you define what's positive and negative? That's based upon your perception. So positives and negatives are going to change between individual consciousness. So for me, it's like, how do you change the negative into the positive? Be the positive. But I also think too, here we might be looking at, the key might not be to like get rid of the negative or whatever. It might just be more about balancing, because like you said, we're way out of balance right now into the negative scale. But I think that might be more what we should be shooting for, is more than getting rid of all the negativity, is balancing the system.
And balance is great. And Zigzagzilla's in the house. And he says there's a good thing in everything, even if it appears bad. Actually, there's no good and bad. And that's not what I'm trying to say. Yes, there's good and bad, and he's exactly right. What I'm saying is, when I feel negative, and I feel like okay, like at work, somebody didn't do something, and I feel like I'm getting mad at them, like, why did he do that? That's negative. Now if I looked at him and said, hey, you did a great job, that's a positive. And I'm thinking in my head, I really like that guy. Hey, he did a good job. I feel so good. But instead, something happened and I turned negative, and I felt it. It's not that, because no matter what he does, it doesn't really matter. But to me, it's how I feel. And then, like we were talking, and we've talked about this many times, about my projection. I went out and I picked some potatoes, and something happened, and I was really upset. And I picked these potatoes, and I put them back down, and I realized that I was mad, and I was at something happened. I can't remember exactly what, but I was upset. And I stopped myself, and I said, I'm going to project this negativeness onto my potatoes. They're a living object. And then I'm going to eat this negativity. Oh my gosh, my meal is going to be ruined. See what I'm getting at?
It's said that's why people say I cooked this with, or made this with love.
Yes. So I stopped right there. I thought of happy thoughts until I felt better, because that's what it's all about. It's not if I did good or bad. It's how I feel, and I project that, because we are all projecting all the time, right? So how can we change that?
You are changing it, Robert.
Yes, well, I did.
Your awareness of it is changing it. Like
Yes.
when you're doing the work, not to
Mhm.
sit in the lower vibration and
Mhm.
consciously raising your vibration until you know you're in a more positive frequency. That's
Mhm.
exactly how you do it, and you're doing it. This is how we affect the world, is by straightening out our own insides. So you are actively participating in the healing of the negativity by seeing it, identifying it, feeling it, and then choosing to move out of it and move through it into a positive vibration. That is extremely powerful, what you're doing.
Mhm. Yeah, but I was smart enough to realize that I did it. And then that's where I started thinking, how many people do that without thinking? They just do. And then they don't realize it. I mean, how many
Mhm.
times do you project this negativity out by cussing words? You know, we've talked about the
Every
spelling.
damn time I'm in traffic.
Yes, there you go. And then you project negativity, and that transfers to all those other people. Exactly. You give them the finger, they give you the finger back. Everybody's
I
transmuting
stopped
that
giving the
energy.
finger a while back, but I still have the thoughts in my head like, what a douche, get out of the way, I'm in her.
Right, right.
Yeah, and they're worse in Minnesota there. I drove through your area. That traffic's terrible. They'll
It
cut
is
you
pretty
off
bad.
every
Well,
chance they get.
Compared to North Dakota, where there's more cows than people, yeah.
That's right. I like getting back to North Dakota where there's 3 cars on the interstate as far as you can see.
Right.
So,
Right.
so that's the thing. We need to right the ship. I mean, the ship, we're all on the ship. The ship is Earth. And I gave you guys this example earlier, you know, that we're on the ship and we're all leaning over to the side. We're all over in that, we're watching football, drinking beer, you know, and we're having a good time. We're all negative. Yeah. You know, now the ship is turned this way. You know, if a few people are on this side, it's not going to right the ship, but how do we get that way? You know,
Tell them you better run to the other side of the ship or we're going to sink. And not all of you at the same time. We need balance.
Balance. Yes. You'll never change everybody's mindset.
No.
But the only one you can change is your own.
Yes.
Well, isn't that the trick in the dualistic nature of human beings, is to figure out what the middle path is and what the right path is?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, seeing as everything is separation and everything is line in the sand, you got to choose a side. You got to be for this team, you got to be for that team. You're either a feminine or a male, or, you know, and, you know, I think that's where the whole transgender thing comes from these days. And, you know, it's weird how you know, collectively younger people are finding an excuse to like quit the program, I guess they're calling it, or, you know, like trying to emotionally separate themselves from the ins and outs of our, you know, doldrum of going to work, coming home, getting up, going to work, you know, the whole freaking grind we go through every day. And, you know, even though we have to do that, we don't have to be in that, I suppose. You know, it's like be of the world, not in the world, or be in the world, not of the world. You know, so, and you can see it in younger people. They're starting to see that our system is becoming so entropic or chaotic that it's not going to sustain itself the way it is. And, you know, that's a good sign. But, you know, every system ages, and when it does, it becomes more and more chaotic until there's a breaking point.
Yeah.
Are we at that breaking point? I don't know. I think there's
we're there. I think we're
there's
there.
always a rhythm to it all. And, you know, that's part of the Hermetic principles. And, you know, the rhythm is going to get you.
Well, and that goes along with that negativity, you know, that negativity is a creator, and it creates change. And right now you can see in the world, you were just talking about that trans stuff. It gets people mad just mentioning it.
Yes,
it triggers a lot of people. And yet, how many trans people do you actually know compared to regular people?
I know a few.
Yeah, a few, but on the big scale of all the people, you know, it's just a small percentage. you know.
Well, it's like looking out on the road and seeing the electric cars versus the gasoline powered cars.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it wasn't a big available option for most a few years ago, but now it's like you can go anywhere and start the process. So yeah, it's about availability.
Instead of
too.
just San Francisco, you mean?
There's always in places that'll do it for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And electric cars thing, the way they talk on the news, everybody already has an electric car. They're all driving electric cars.
Did you see last week? All the people that had football tickets and stuff couldn't go watch the football game if they had electric cars. Only the people that had gas cars could go because none of them were allowed to charge their cars.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so what's it going to be like when there's a line of people at the one charging station and you got 50 cars and they all, well, I'm here and it takes an hour for my car to fill up.
I seen a meme recently.
They're already having rolling blackouts. I mean, they've got major problems. This is really going to fry them. They're going to be so desperate. They're all going to have the cars, but they won't be able to go anywhere.
It's funny you said fry them. I seen a meme recently of a bunch of charging stations flooded, and it said the caption said, "And you think smoking at the gas pump was dangerous?"
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that, Steve. Oh my God. Oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and I guess by 2025, all gas ones are not legal in that state, in California. So yeah, I think they already passed it.
Yeah,
so
they did.
All lawnmowers, all gas equipment, all that, all of it.
I think what it is
they can't
sell them anymore there. At 2025, they can't sell them anymore. So if you have one, you're fine, but you can't go to town and buy one from the store. It's
California's kind of been ahead of the curve as far as emissions and everything since way back when, right?
Yeah.
Because California emission cars had 2 catalytic converters and
yeah.
But
well, you know what people are going to do? They're just going to go across the street to Arizona, Nevada, wherever, and buy a car there.
That's like
and go home.
When I smoked weed, I'd want to go to Colorado to buy weed.
But the thing is, though, is that they won't be allowed to bring motorized vehicles with that are fuel into the state. They're saying they're going to stop all semi trucks that aren't over 2,000 and something, and they're stopping it even with the commercial vehicles.
See,
they're not going to let.
There's a shortage of shit now. Imagine what it's going to be like then.
That's what I mean. I don't know that they've thought this through very well, Steve. I really am like seeing a lot of problems with their plan here. I'm like, okay, you're going to put everybody on electric, but now nobody can charge their vehicles.
Well, and that's not to mention that the lithium batteries are in the way those are mined and how much harm
and
that
the way you can't dispose of them. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
And
they're saying that's green. How is that green?
Right.
I've seen graveyards of these electric cars from China.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Wow, they're huge.
They just dump them because it's cheaper to get a new one than if switch.
Right, it's cheaper to buy a new car than to get a battery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's something really
even us right now are doing the them and they thing. You see that? You notice that?
What?
Yeah.
Even right now, us in this conversation are doing the they and them and us thing. Yeah.
Well, some people have electric cars, some people don't. So
right, but I mean,
yeah.
It's human nature to do this, I think.
Yeah. Well, it is. But when you meet somebody on the street and they got, they look like a girl, they act like a girl. More than likely you're going to assume they are a girl, or if they, you know what I mean. If they can have children, you're a girl. If you are
not no more.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. And then that triggers people because that means and when I hear about it, I get mad inside, like, what are you talking about? That ain't right. I raise animals on a farm and none of my animals said I was
a lot longer than most of you all, and this is what we all called each other. So just because you want to change it, I don't know that that's going to be easy for us because our whole entire multiple decades, we've used the same terminology to describe gender and male and female, and only until this time have we got all the LGBTQ. But apparently there's one of them that's all the way up to 26 different letters. That's the whole alphabet.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. So yeah,
And how are you supposed to remember that stuff?
I
You
can't
know-
even remember the 13 now. They say like the real lister. I'm going to be politically probably in a big problem because I have no clue.
Scotty Boy says here in Cali, looks like a duck, quacks like a duck. For sure, it's a turkey. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I like that one. For sure, it's a turkey. Then. Oh, you know that I enjoy that. A little humor there.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Absolutely.
But you asked why we are here on this planet.
Yeah.
And I think it's to figure out the truth.
I do too.
And I think that's to find God, you know, and I think that's what truth and God are synonymous with each other. And,
Yeah.
you know, the truth of our existence is really no thing, you know, because it's not a thing. It's something that we all feel an empty void for, and we can never find in anything. Neither cars, stars, bars, women, men.
So here's the thing.
Transgenderism.
So should we stop searching and then free up a lot of that time and say, we found God, God is in us, and then call it good and go move on, you know, because that's,
well, I think
that's
it's
what
more
it
than
is.
that. I think we have to
You know?
learn to, because God is love too, you know, God is,
Yeah.
you know, and that's, to love your neighbor is a hard pill to swallow for humans. And
Yeah.
so,
Well, it's like
when you love your enemy, then you can truly love.
And that's exactly it. We should be embracing those things which would right the ship a little bit more. That's what I'm saying is, and I want to quote something from my buddy who had talked about his dog, and we did this a little earlier, and it was a really good example. He's got a nice passive dog, he says, wouldn't bite anybody, never being mean, but he gets around 2 or 3 other dogs, and those dogs it's attacking something. His dogs is just as vicious as all the other ones. What happened there? It does happen. Yes, the collective, and that's
the collective.
Yes. And are we the same thing? If there's a riot, do we just go and join in? We're in a riot. Let's break stuff.
Lots of people will. Yeah.
So we have to rise above that and right the ship, and you only can change yourself. So that I guess that's what I'm trying to get at is you know, we have to work on ourselves. You can't change other people.
You know, I talking about why did we come here, and you know, the purpose of life is to seek God, and that's truth. You know, truth is again one of those concepts. It's, you know, it's in the eyes of the beholder. Truth truth can change as it evolves. Concepts evolve within your own construct. So we can't really say, okay, what's truth? We don't know any of that. When you get to the place of starting to understand that as much as you think you know, you may not know the full essence of the truth. So, you know, you're always seeking to know more truth and to be closer to Creator and be closer to understanding God. If you were to understand creation, as most people call God, to understand creation would mean that you would need to be working on being a creator, because creation would make creators. It would be no other way. So as a creator, not knowing that you do have the power to access what you already hold because of the systems we were brought into and because of the veiling with the human body. I think the whole purpose of this time is, you know, in the Bible, it talks about the second coming of Christ. You know, since I was a little girl, and the Lord used to tell me, no, it comes through us, through the children of God. It comes through his children. So I think if there was a purpose for me on this planet, it would be not only to understand and know that I'm a part of the Creator God, but also that I must hold some of the attributes of it, and that I need to find out what those are so I can express them in the world of matter. And I think that is truly how we do bring heaven into earth, is by activating what we are.
Can I read something from the Bhagavad Gita, which speaks exactly about what you were talking about?
I would love that,
Yeah,
Steve, because
I
I
would
don't
love
know
that.
much about the Bhagavad Gita. I don't even know if I said
Bhagavad
it right.
Gita, and this is chapter 10, Divine Splendor, and this is Krishna speaking to Arjuna. It says, listen further, Arjuna, to my supreme teaching, which gives you such joy. Desiring your welfare, O strong-armed warrior, I will tell you more. Neither gods nor sages know my origin, for I am the source from which the gods and sages come. Whoever knows me as the Lord of all creation without birth or beginning knows the truth and frees himself from all evil. Discrimination, wisdom, understanding, forgiveness, truth, self-control, and peace of mind, pleasure and pain, birth and death, fear and courage, honor and dishonor, nonviolence, charity, equanimity, contentment, and perseverance in spiritual disciplines. All the different qualities found in living creatures have their source in me. And that's Krishna speaking. And that's Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is God.
Wow. And look at the word Krishna, Christ.
Yes.
It's right in the word.
Christ. And
Yeah.
Christ is the product of God, and God is
Yeah,
Christ.
exactly. I mean, there's so many names. And I think the more I look at this stuff, it's like there's so many names for the same things. And I really do think that. I mean, just when you look at Brahma too, they say Brahma's the ultimate, like the one. And it's like
Brahman in here is the product of, well, it's not in here, but it's in the Hindu faith. But Brahman is Christ. Yes.
yeah, Brahma, Vishnu, and
Yeah.
isn't it?
Krishna, yeah. I got the
It's a Trinity.
Bhagavad Gita on CD. I listened to it in my truck as I work.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, I got the book too. It came with the book. I bought the whole
Yeah,
thing.
this book is one of a few I've read recently. I mean, I never used to read. Now it's just this stuff.
Right, me too. I'm the
It's-
same way, Steve.
Yeah, I never read before.
Me neither.
I
No,
try to
but
listen
now
to
I
the
do a
Bible
lot,
on.
and it all started when because when I was little, the Lord told me not to read the Bible. He told me not to go to church and not to read the Bible. He said
Not until
because
you understand what it means.
no, well, right. That's what he said. He said, don't go. And then he told me to, if you tell them you can see me or hear me, they'll tell you you can't, and it'll go away and you won't be able to no more. So I was like, oh, not risking that.
Because the Bible through our physical perception is not to be understood. You can never understand it if you're thinking of it as a physical historical document that is telling you this and that and this and that about real people that are living and dying. You know, because the Bible is not that.
Well, it'd be the same way with the
allegory.
Bhagavad Gita too. You know,
Yes,
it's more of a
exactly.
story with wisdom in it than
It's all allegory, and it's
Is it-
talking about the supreme wisdom of
Yes.
what
Yeah.
our true nature is. Like all the names in the Bible are just names, aspects, different aspects of our journey to our true self, and our true self is God, by the way.
Well, that's what I mean. When he told me that I could read the Bible, I was in my 30s.
Mhm.
And he would read it with me, and he would tell me what it meant to him. And he told me when he started showing me, he said, this is a multi-dimensional book. He said it's expressed on 3 different levels of consciousness.
Mhm.
And that was profound to me. Profound, because he said the allegory, the metaphor, and then the actual the print. Those are 3 different realities of creation, the keys to creation within those allegories and metaphors, and it's all layered. And one is a representation of the microcosm, and one is a representation of the macrocosm, and then the other one is like the representation of the expression of those when they're in unity, expressing itself as Christ manifest. So he was showing me all these different things, and how it was about genetics, and how it was about that your body is the temple. And he taught me so many things that I never heard in any churches or anywhere else. And what he said, you know, it's like when you hear truth, you get those chill bumps. You just know. Yeah. That's like, I would read and I would ask him questions, or he'd tell me an interpretation, and I just get the chill bumps. Like, I know this is right. I know this is right. And it was stuff I'd never heard before, but I knew it was right. So that was challenging to go through a lot of that stuff, you know, when you're really young and being told that, you know, things that people love and adore that really you might want to stay away from that for a while. That's a conundrum. But I'm glad I listened because I do see it now with 3 sets of eyes. It's very different when I look at scripture. I see it multidimensionally now, and it's a beautiful gift.
That's what they like the Kabbalah. In Kabbalah, they say not to indulge yourself or immerse yourself into the great work or the, you know, the spiritual side of things until your ego has grown and you're grown out of it and you're fed up with it. And that's at age 40, oddly enough.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the number 40 is mem in the Hebrew alphabet. And that's
Water.
self-explanatory. Yes, water.
Mom.
Mem, yep.
Hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
40 is a big number in the Bible as well. If you know, 40
Yeah.
days, 40 nights, and
Huge number in the Bible. You're right.
it's
Yeah.
talking about the same event over and over and over again. And that's finding ourselves in our true self.
Yes. Yes. And we have to go through those traumas in our life to make us reevaluate our perception in our world. And yeah, those are the crossroads in our world, in our
That
life
harkens to
experience
what
that
he was
make
talking
us
about, the
grow.
negativity. The negativity is there so we can grow. Yeah.
Yes, because if we didn't have the contrast, we couldn't test ourselves. And I really do think this here, we come to add more information into your soul, which adds to your records of your genetics and your DNA and your
Maybe
Akashic
here to love
records. that-
your enemy as well as your neighbor.
yes, but you can't understand what you're really you know, I think literally, I mean, sometimes people talk about reincarnation, the people that believe they've had multiple lifetimes. I'm like, if that's really true, then there also is the part of that you don't get to just be happy-go-lucky in every time. I think you have to sign up to play the role of the villain if you want to
I
play
don't
the
know if we
game.
necessarily get to sign up. If you get to a certain level of understanding, maybe you do, I think. But I think
Oh, I know you
we have
sign
to
up,
keep
Steve.
coming back to this hell. We
I
have to
know
keep
we
coming
sign
back.
up. I swear,
We have to
every
keep
ounce
coming
of
back
my
to this
being
hell
knows
until
it.
we graduate school.
Well, I think you graduate anytime you want to, but I really do think that we signed up for this, and I think it's crazy, but I kind of do. I've seen that, and I saw the planning of my incarnation before I was here. So
Oh, yeah.
I planned it. I saw it, and I think many of us did.
Yeah, and then that's the thing too, is if you've seen it and you say your subconscious knows, right?
It does.
Yeah,
It does know. It
it does.
knows. It
Yeah,
does.
and it does. Your subconscious knows,
Oh, it
but your
does. Yeah.
physical mental mind that we perceive
No
here
clue.
has no
Yeah.
clue. Your subconscious guides you a little bit here and there, but you know, it ain't shouting out to you all the time. So it kind of
can't.
guides you. Yeah, but in
Yeah.
the physical world, it has to, you know, maybe give you hints or push you in little directions.
That's the
But
thing
then
that I'm
you have
talking
to do the
about.
work. You have to
That's what
go
I'm
out
talking
and do
about.
that.
People, they kind of get confused on how to do the work. But like Steve, he's doing the work. He's reading the
Yes.
books.
Yes.
He's doing the research. And that's how his practice of meditation works for him. That's how it slows him down. That's his process. We're all doing these different processes, but
Yep.
that's what we're doing. We're going in and we're learning about our internal drives, our internal workings, where they come from. And when you start to understand how to get tapped into your subconscious mind, that is where your superpowers are. And that is where all of your Akashic memories are, all of your past lifetimes, if you believe in that or want to go into that. That's where all of this is. It's all held within your cells. Your cells. That's why our cells are known as telepathic, and we have cellular communication between other humans on this planet through a collective soul. So we are very powerful. And just because we're in a physical body, we don't remember. So taking on a physical body and going through this process as a child of creation, this is a joke. So literally, I know it seems really radical here, but I don't think in the greater perspective of creation, it's that big of a deal at all. So we're way bigger than our human fractal that we're existing in at this moment. You're connected to a part of you that's connected directly to source, God.
I think we are just like, we are God's clothes. It's like I'm wearing a plaid shirt or one day, and then the next day I'm wearing a blue denim shirt. I think like we're just different angles of the same thing. We're just separated by our separate experiences and life experiences and what we've learned and how we see the world, but we're essentially all the same energy, whatever you want to call it.
I think you're right, Steve. I really do. I think we're all one collective soul.
We are to God like the camera is to us.
Yes.
I wrote down something this week that I would like to read. It's just a few sentences here, and this goes right with what you're saying. I got to say it now, that it'll be too late. The sleep of the body is the awakening of the soul.
Yes.
The closing of the eyes is the true vision.
Yes.
The silence becomes the impregnated with God, or the silence. And silence becomes impregnated with God. I heard that and I had to write it down. So so when you sleep, you have that true vision. That's your opening of your mind to your subconscious that guides you.
Yes.
Dreaming is a little brother to death, they say.
Yes, but see, the thing is though, is the subconscious mind. That's the part of your body that's digesting your food. It's producing all the chemicals in your body. It knows what you're allergic to, even if you don't. It understands.
I know what I'm allergic to.
Well, no, there's things you might be allergic to.
Well, I break out knives everywhere.
But your soul knows that you're going to have a reaction if you ever get near this one certain thing you may not know about yet.
I recently developed an allergy to eggs, oddly enough, and I used to love eggs. I used to eat the shit out of it.
You know what? Try to do some gut support, Steve. Probiotic that might help.
I can't get them past my lips.
I know, but
in my gut. I mean, I get them in my mouth, and my mouth goes boop, like Will Smith on that movie Hitch.
Wow.
I got one for you though. But Trina, this is about you. You're a woman. You've had children. Your body. You crave, I'm sure you crave, like all the other women when they're pregnant, crave certain things. And you crave those things because those things had vitamins and minerals in them that you needed. And that would prove to everybody that your body knows things like I need a pickle and I need peanut butter and all those things. If you really look at it, that's protein and it's this and it's that, those things.
It's so much more powerful. And this is the part that most of us aren't really understanding, that we really can access this inside of us. When people have been part of like scientific studies where they've decided to go and participate in these studies for these medications and certain things, when they go to the doctor and they receive this brand new medication that is supposed to be super wonderful and it's going to get rid of their ailment, and they go and they're like super excited to do it and take it, and they take it and they go home, and then they come back and they're completely better, but then they find out they received the placebo.
Wow.
So it
doesn't matter. If you ain't got a mind, it don't effing matter.
Right. It's not the medication. Right. It's what your
belief is.
Yes, it's your expectation. Yes. What are you expecting to receive?
Right.
So this is the power of the subconscious part of you.
Maybe that's why ivermectin worked for me when I got COVID.
It works for 98% of people had success with that. So you're not alone with that. It had nothing to do with your brain. I think that's just really good medicine. But bottom line is the mind is 90% of it. On top of that, I think doesn't matter if you receive the best medication in the world. If you believe it's going to hurt you and it's poison, it won't help you.
This is
That's
true.
how powerful you are within.
But you gotta pump the brakes when you start thinking you can think your way out of lymphoma or, stuff like that,
That's not true, Steve. I've seen people completely go into
Yeah.
regression,
I'm
100%
sure
remission.
there's cases, but I mean, you can't put
I've
that out
seen
there as saying you can think your way
lots.
out of this or that.
I've seen people dissolve tumors in their body,
Good for them.
lifetime,
I wish I could do that.
on ultrasound. I've seen it. I mean, you have no idea. This stuff is not hard. It's not hard. They want you to think it's a big deal, but it's not. You literally have to go in. This is where I'm talking about. This is about balance. If we want to learn how to get where we want to go in this reality, we have to understand the power of our own being. You have two brains in your brain, left and right hemisphere. One is operating the conscious realm. One is operating a lot more of the subconscious parts of you. That part of you knows how to make your bones heal. It knows how to make your wounds heal. It knows how to make your hair grow, your eyes blink, your food digest. We don't know how to do any of those processes, but this divine intelligence that's inside of you knows it intimately. So with that part of you is what creates 95% of your visual reality. So what you believe in that part of your mental construct, which you don't have access to 90% of the time, is actually what's operating and creating your reality. So consciously, if you don't understand what's happening within your subconscious field, things will start showing up in your world that you didn't want to see, and you don't understand why they're there. It's because your subconscious mind is creating it, and it's putting it there for a reason. And you're supposed to go look at it and fix it. So I've seen people with 7 degenerative spinal diseases cure their back in 1 hypnotherapy session and do yoga again in 3 months after 6 months left to not ever walk again. So I've seen what people can do. I've seen it and I've felt it in my hands when they've activated their own power. So like I said, this is the same thing that we've always been taught. You go to the shaman to get the healing, right? Shaman doesn't heal you.
Yeah.
The shaman puts a bunch of mojo in front of your face and convinces you that today is your day to heal. And if you agree and you say so, and your subconscious agrees, then you will freaking heal. And it is that simple. It has nothing to do with anybody else other than you and what.
There's a lot to be said about the placebo effect. I agree.
That is right. It is a miraculous thing that they don't want us to understand. We can do this real time.
Who is they, Trina? Who's why do you say they? Who's they?
Like the people that are educating that it's not possible. That's the
they. Who's they?
The people that are saying that you cannot have spontaneous regression.
The powers that be that are against keep us enslaved here. That's who it's they.
It's the they is there's 2 different groups. There's 2 different mindsets.
We've been down this road, remember?
Huh?
I was just bringing up old stuff that we.
Oh yeah, you like to
before the they thing.
I know, because there is a they.
I believe that. Here's a good one for you. Now I got to wonder about this. Now I got two of them, and one of them was I read this week about these caverns or something that they used for religious worship, and in these areas, when you're in there, they would sing hymns or whatever they got to do for religious things, right? Your voice ends up resonating, reverberating. That's where I'm looking at 111 hertz, which is the same hertz that destroys cancer.
Nice.
Now, here's the and then I read all about this and I was like, what did they know? Either the guy who built it. Here's the thing: the guy who built it knew this, or did his subconscious mind know it when he built it, and that's why he built it that way.
I think that kind of super wisdom, like that kind of knowledge to be able to bring that forth into this reality. See, that's somebody who tapped into their superpowers, and he did it. That's wow. That is
so that's the thing, though. is, in
Off the
some
hook
ways,
says the Jesuits.
well, maybe they had this knowledge, and that's why they built these cathedrals or to built these things or
Yeah,
whatever to
you're
resonate it
right,
at a certain
Robert.
frequency. When you go there and you're praying and you're singing and you're doing and then it's helping you get cured too. And then you're thinking, wow, the more I pray, the more I go there and I'm getting better.
And I feel better.
And I
I
feel
think
better.
you're absolutely right. Yeah, a lot of
Have you ever seen the initiation well?
The what?
No, what's that?
Look it up online when we're done here. It's just one of the freaking most awesome structures you'll ever see. It's like an inverted tower, and it goes like 90 feet into the ground, and there's a spiral staircase that takes you down to the bottom. And then when you get to the bottom, it branches out into all these tunnels.
Huh.
Wow.
The initiation well.
Wow, that is cool. Wow.
Yeah, look it up and bring up a picture of it once, Robert.
Yes, I'm doing it. I'm driving the bus.
Wow, that's
I can't help it.
I think that's one of those places, like you were
just
just talking about, the reverberation thing, and just like the pyramid, I think the Great Pyramid.
And it's interesting you brought up the initiation well, because that's a spiral, a descending spiral down into the earth. And what do they always say? You want to find the truth, go in. You got to go in.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. And they say that the best meditation spot is in a cave away from all the nonsense of our world.
well, isn't that what I said in that thing? It says the silence will impregnate you with God. And I'm like, yeah, because you have to have silence in order to, find yourself within. You can't,
with all the traffic rolling by, right?
Yeah.
That like whole silence part of God part, to be quite honest with you, I think that is the highest level. And I think if you go into that, I don't know that you get back out with your individual consciousness anymore. So that part is like a little bit intense for me, but that is the whole be still and
that's
know
Sunday.
I am
that's
God.
Sunday of our week. That's why Sunday is the day of rest. That's exactly what, in relation to the 7 Hermetic principles, that's why Sunday is our day of rest. Exactly why.
Yes. Yeah, and it is a level of creation that's the highest. Yeah, that I've seen.
Know who I am.
Yeah.
That I am. Yes.
I am that I am. I'm getting there. Let's see.
Yeah, Popeye knew it all along.
Because I eat my spinach.
He is so right. He knew what was up.
So true.
Okay. Yeah, I do, guys. I really think it's time to start working on our subconscious mind and playing with it and finding somebody that you trust and you love that can help guide you into your subconscious mind. And you're not sleeping, you're not hypnotized. It's literally guided meditation can do this for you. But, it's kind of an interactive process. So I think starting to do this work more with more people, it's going to open up a lot of ideas and a lot of things that are in the subconscious.
When you say that, because in Kabbalah, the Kabbalists say to get a circle of 10 or a group of 10 people and try to focus on certain subjects and
All right, here we go. Your well of
there you go.
Oh wow, that's
well.
wild looking.
Ain't that crazy?
And you see the symbol down at the bottom on the floor?
Yeah.
No, what is it? What is it?
Like a star with a circle.
It's like a bling bling of light, like the cross with the center of the circle. Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. 8 sides. Yeah.
8-pointed star.
8-pointed star. Yeah.
There's
little people looking over the edge.
Energy. That is all female right there. 8-pointed star. That's Isis. That's wow. That is all female energy, and that makes sense too. Going deep down into the well. Yeah.
This is the staircase. Going
Gosh,
up
that is so pretty.
It is. Can you imagine going up and down that and then looking at from the top of it? Oh my gosh, this is just unbelievable.
Where is that again? Where is that?
I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know.
But they speculate that the Templars built it.
That would make sense because they were the ones trying to preserve and keep the part of the divine feminine religion alive, and it didn't go so well.
Oh, here we go. Okay, hang on, guys. Here we go for another ride and a journey along the way. Here we Portugal. Mysteries of the Quinta Regina or Regalia. Ugh.
Look at that building. My God.
Yeah, ain't that something?
Wow.
Freemasons.
Yeah.
Oh, way beyond Freemasons.
Look at the
that, Steve.
carvings on
That
here.
looks like that's like.
Yeah, but it says it right there at the bottom of the thing.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I know that, but I think those are like Tartaria Freemasons, like the older ones.
Oh yeah, look at
before.
the
that's
things. There's crosses
beautiful.
on
That's
the top.
incredible.
The things on there. Yeah, this is
I'm like definitely Freemasons, but I think the old ones.
It's estate near Lisbon, built by the eccentric Freemasons that houses the mysterious initiation well and is filled with pagan and occult symbols. I first learned of the
Absolutely.
estate was searching for a fantasy world ideas on Pinterest. Yeah, of course, on Pinterest.
That is super cool. Wow, that's on my bucket list now. Places I might want to go. That's a.
I want to go to
beautiful-
Angkor Wat. That's where I want to go. Angkor Wat.
What is that?
Angkor Wat
What's
Where's
that?
in Cambodia? It's the largest religious site ever built in the world.
Ooh, wow.
Wow, this place looks beautiful though.
Yeah.
Wow, look at those beautiful pots in the garden. Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
look at
that is
It's
just,
just
that is-
amazing how they could build shit like that back then.
right. That's what I'm saying. That is such beautiful. Wow.
You know,
Wow.
that's another thing. What happened to our creativity? You know,
Well, like I said, I don't know. I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
you got to have money now to do shit like that.
oh, yeah,
Just like then,
True.
I'm sure you had to have money to do shit like that then, you know.
yeah, I'm sure.
And
Well,
that's all
yeah,
the Templars and the Freemasons and everything were at the top of their societies, and that's
Well, you know
Yeah.
what else you had to have besides that? You had to have low cost, cheap slave labor without insurance and casualty costs.
right.
Somebody fell. We didn't have the proper equipment and safety harnesses. Oh, wow. Get another guy.
Yeah.
Man, look at that.
That's another example of, yeah, that's awesome.
Wow. Wow. Look at that little
That
bridge
is
going
just, that is an amazing, beautiful place. Wow.
Yeah. Lisbon,
Thank you for
Places,
bringing
there's
that to
places
my
on this
attention.
planet that are just amazing, and I think they're actually nexus points for our energy and our connection to the earth and to heaven, and you know,
I
like
think you're absolutely
the
right.
Star
I
of
see-
David is the marriage of heaven and earth, and I think these places
Yeah.
bring that energy together as well.
I think you're absolutely right. And like when you look at it all, it's like when you look at the maps from above and stuff, it looks like computer chips. And you
Yeah.
can see where the nodes and the cathodes are and it's all there. And
Right.
these churches and these big, beautiful buildings, like you said, these are the energy centers.
Well, every church in every Freemason church that is laid out in the image of man, literally.
Yes.
Really? Wow. I never knew
Yes.
that. Never thought to look about it.
Yes.
Wow. Look at this.
And they all of them too have the hidden symbology of the divine goddess too. That's
Yeah.
why the 8-pointed star and the well,
Yeah.
those are all of the symbols of the female part. So that's what I mean. They had a balance.
Well, when I
to-
say man, I mean man and female. I'm
yeah,
not making a
man, the
distinction.
body of man. Yeah, the body
No,
of
I'm
man.
not making a distinction whether it's male or female. Man is both to me.
Yeah, but that's the
It's
thing about the
spiritual meaning.
Templars. I think that was a lot of what they were being they were hiding all of the ancient teachings of the divine feminine. I don't think it was allowed to be expressed anymore after the Roman stuff. So I think that was a part of their hidden stuff that they still kept that sacred to them.
Well, the reason why they had to go into hiding is because some king of France or wherever wanted their money and killed them off and took their loot. That's what happened on Friday the 13th. Oddly enough.
That did
Yeah.
happen. That
Yeah,
did
here-
happen.
I think
Here's your-
King Louis or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
I
Here's
think
your
so.
Angkor Wat. It is pretty, isn't it? Look at
Yeah,
that.
it's the largest religious site ever built.
Wow.
Built by the Khmer Empire in 1200 AD, I believe.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just amazing how they could carve stuff like that, and it took like 30 years to build that place.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that.
Yeah,
It's
Oh my
huge.
gosh. Wow.
they built that for you as an initiate to go And
Uh-huh.
if you went into that central plaza where all the spires are, and
Uh-huh.
you concentrated and you were at the level of being ready to be initiated, you would actually find your true self there. And,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, but you
And you
know,
would have
see,
the earthquake and see the light and all that.
and there's like I've seen this place before. There's like water. It's like a little island. There's a moat
Yes, and
all
it
the way
looks like
around it.
computer chips, like Trina was saying, from above. If you look at it from above, and then there's another place close to this, Angkor Wat. I forget what it's called, but it looks like a bifurcation circuit, like Tesla would
Wow.
built.
Mhm.
Wow.
If you can
Alternating
carry
current. Yeah.
Well, and look at these towers. That is like conductors, you know, like you would have on one of them big coils, like the pine cone. Oh my God, it's the pine cone.
exactly.
Yep.
Oh,
And,
my
and
goodness.
there's 5 of them. There's a central one, and then there's
Yep.
4 on the corners. And what is the 5th? The 5th element is the ether, and the 4 is the earth, wind.
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that. So yeah.
Look at that.
Wow.
I just looked at that and I'm like, oh my
Four
God, it's the
corners
pine.
feeding central core.
And those are 7-tiered pine cones as well.
Wow. Now I know why you
Wow.
want to
Each
go there.
embodying the 7 principles, the 7 days of the week, the 7
And 7
continents, 7
chakras.
oceans.
Yeah. All of it.
I mean, it's
All of it.
and it just
Wow.
it's
7
there to
primal
teach you.
colors.
It's there to
Oh.
teach you in stone, just like the Great Pyramid of Giza was. Is
See,
know,
and how could these people not know these higher esoteric teachings that they were building this shit?
They
They
did.
obviously knew, and we lost so much of this knowledge.
no, we haven't lost it. It's all there for us to see, as long as we want to seek it. You know,
Yes.
it's
Well,
the veil.
well, yeah, but dive
Like-
into the subconscious mind.
veil
and
is
go
our
into
own
a
ignorance,
past life
in my
and see it
opinion.
yourself.
But that's the thing. You got to do
You
the
have to
work.
want to know.
You want to
Mhm.
know, you got to search it out. You got to do the work to get to it. You can't
Yep.
just say, I want to know. What was that movie? Indiana Jones. Remember the lady at the end of the movie? What do you want? I want to know everything. And you know, she didn't do the work for it, and it exploded her head. You know.
Right. It's like, if you know, people that are seeking the truth, if you truly want the truth and you truly want it, it will find you. The truth finds
Yeah.
you. It actually finds you. It reaches out and grabs you by the freaking nut,
Oh, it sure
by
does.
the brow, by the hair, and it says,
Yep.
hey, here it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and to
Oh,
me,
it
it spoke
does.
to me through numbers. I've prayed before and really wanted it, and it's happened. I've made changes in my life, and it's come to me so many different ways. When you really want to seek it and really want the truth, it finds you. You know, I'm not saying I know the ultimate truth, not yet, and maybe hopefully someday I will. But you know, that's my mission statement on my channel. That's why I said my ultimate goal is to figure out what the fucking truth is. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think in a way, all of us are searching for some truth of
I
something.
think
you know,
everybody here in this chat and on this watching us right now are probably on the same, you know, searching level as each and every one of our last one of us. And yeah. And I
Yeah.
can appreciate that, because we're all on different levels. We're all not going to see the same thing the same way. You know, we're us three are prime testament to that. We're not going to see things exactly the same, but
no,
we sure want to know the fucking truth.
yeah. It's see, like me, I like to search for the truth in history, you
Mhm.
know, and you like to search for the truth in
Esoteric metaphysics, and
yes, and Trina, you like to search for the truth in, what do you like to search for the truth in?
My own experiences.
There you go. Yeah, I was gonna say in your I know in your yeah, that's a good way to go. I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't think you're not. No, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, I love to research, and I like to
No,
study, and I like to, like I
Yeah.
said, I need to do more movie watching, because so much of the things
that
I
is
have-
so awesome, because yes, you're spot on. Every movie is the same
yeah,
thing.
and it's all this stuff within my consciousness, and now it's on TV. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So
Even
yeah, there's-
YouTube algorithm does that to you too.
totally, yes, it does. It really does.
Wild.
You're right. Yeah.
Even Netflix algorithm will do that too. If you start watching certain shows on Netflix, and
It brings up all the other, yeah,
Yes.
it does. It
It's pretty
totally
crazy.
does. Yeah. And yeah, that's totally
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah, this is so true. You do. You search for the truth within yourself and your experiences, because that's what you're always talking about, your experiences.
And that's how I do it. I go into my subconscious part of me, and I go into where I can talk to my higher consciousness, and my higher consciousness is really it's above my consciousness. I could never keep up with that part of my own self because it is way smarter than I am.
That's
So
where mere coincidence becomes synchronicity, and you understand what
yes,
synchronicity truly is. And that's the universe
yes,
speaking to you, because you are the universe and the universe is you. And
yes,
life is merely the universe creating memory.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
And I
That's
think that's
fact.
what the Akashic DNA strand and all that stuff is,
What it's for.
however you want to
Your
word it.
memory. You're absolutely right.
And each
Yep.
one of us holds our separate memories, but we're all
Yes.
under the same umbrella, because there's nothing new under the sun.
No.
It's no. And you're right.
Well,
Yeah, and you're right.
I've been doing these shows on like Atlantis stuff, and the more I read into that and the Hermes thing and stuff, they had all this, he's talking about all the stuff that they knew and more than we know now, and we're just starting to catch up now. We're just starting to get to that point where
you're just realizing it because you're just coming across the information now, when it's been there the whole freaking time.
Well, it has, but I mean, if he's talking it, but think about a guy who is reading this, stuff that he wrote in say the 1800s or something, and he's talking about
the story
flying
of
craft.
Atlantis comes from Plato, who heard a story from
yes.
Solon, which was an Egyptian priest.
Yes. Yeah. But there's more to it than that. I mean, there's things I'm reading about these Indian things all the time. And the other day I was reading about the Inca people, right? And just like that, out of the blue, two people showed up dressed in, cotton clothing, different than everybody else.
Oh, you mean like the population from Atlantis after the
and that's how they started. It was talking about the Incan start, and here they are. These two people show up at Lake Titicaca there.
Lake Titicaca, just seen that whole thing myself, dude.
They have all the knowledge, and everybody else is a barbarian.
Yeah.
And they taught the people how to do all these things and gave them all this knowledge. And
that's the same story of the Emerald Tablets too, man.
Yeah, it's the same, but it's the same thing. How did those people have the same thing going on as the Emerald Tablets had going on? Two different worlds.
Because the creation story is the same across the board, when it's just viewed from a different angle because of the culture and their input at that specific niche in time. Or it's like we were just saying, I'm a plaid shirt, you're a denim shirt, she's a sparkly I love my little pony sweater, you know what I mean? We're just different clothes for the same thing,
Yes.
But our clothes are just intertwined with our being and who we are and how we see things, because of our
experiences, it develops. Yeah, so all of us have experienced different stuff, so it makes you an individualized.
Exactly.
But we're all the same thing, but the only difference between us are our differences in our experiences.
Our ID we built up with our ego, until we realize that our ego can be our friend as long as we just put it in the back seat. That's the devil. Get in the back seat, and
it's about experience. And what are you experiencing? Do you want to experience your ego, or do you want to experience a different part? It's experience. So we shape our self through our experiences, but we came here to experience.
Exactly. That's the whole cycle. Yes. Without the experience, we wouldn't be able to get to the ultimate goal, which is our true self and our stillness that we need to find within ourselves. And to change the world, you are exactly right, Robert. We can only do it one person at a time with ourselves in our own mind, because I can't change not one person. And it took me so long to realize that. And it took me so long to get rid of my fucking, you're wrong and I'm right
Right.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
you finally win because you give up.
I'm
You're
like,
"I
fucking
get away
whatever.
with
You
it."
guys are all right. We're all right, man. Just
Yeah,
get
yeah,
over it.
exactly. And today I was there, was it today? I think it was, I don't know. I've been doing a studying, about how to do this. But anyway, the guy says it's something really easy. And he says, our brain waves, our theta state, our beta, and our alpha
Mhm.
states. And he says, just before you go to sleep, you get that theta state. And he says that's a really good time to manifest.
Yeah,
about
that's when
20
you do the
minutes.
jerk, when you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done
And
that.
that's when
I
you're
love
on
that
the
feeling.
bridge. You're on the bridge between the two brains at that time. So that's a really powerful time if you can
Yeah.
stay in that window a little while and
Yeah.
ask your subconscious to show you what you need to know, and literally it's amazing what that part of you has access to. It's kind of the
Yeah,
closest.
Ellie and I were talking about the 4 states of consciousness, which is the waking state, the dream state, the deep sleep, non-dreamless state, and then the 4th state, which is the Atman or the Brahman or the ultimate, what we are, the stillness, the emptiness, the void,
Yeah.
where you don't dream, where you're just,
Alpha.
you just exist. Yes, the alpha. Yes, the
Yeah.
It's alpha.
where you're at your highest
Mhm.
conscious order, which is nothing actually.
Be still and know that I am God. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sunday.
that's the highest part that I've seen too. So that's
Sunday, yes.
Yeah. But
And
in
then,
that,
oddly enough, the void is the ultimate feminine, the
the
blackness
womb.
that the white light, or that the light of Adam is born in.
That's
So,
the
yeah.
womb. The womb and the spark of God impregnates the womb. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Mhm.
Just like a body.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that theta state is that's when you should be manifesting and setting your, you can communicate with your, that subconscious part. You can focus on how to change your life, different things like that. And then that sets you on that path
all
of,
of that's the affirmations and all of these wonderful things we put into our mind when we're in these different states is so wonderful, and I love it. But I'm telling you, you really want to just, if you want to break it down and get into some serious business, you got to go and literally have a guide take you into your own subconscious, into your body, and get into your own body, and whatever you need to fix, that's where you do it. It's literally, it happens there. It happens. I mean, it can happen in other places in other ways, but to like, if you like really need to heal, if it's like a life or death situation, go find a quantum healer. This might be your best option at that point. So, but if it works, it's spontaneous, it's quick, but like they can't do it for you. You have to do it for you. You have to know that you can, first of all. So belief is 90% of the battle.
Yeah.
But this is where I think that we need to really start putting a lot of our focus on, because so many of us have all these questions about creation and what are we. Well, when you go into that part of your being, you start to see what you are, and you start to see what you've been, because you are in a position on that bridge where you have access to the Akashic records, but you also have access to the spirit. And that's the only place I've seen that blend be able to go down, and you have memory of either or when they're.
As you just said that, I've read this. Through lack of understanding, people believe that I, the unmanifest, have entered into some form. They fail to realize my true nature, which transcends birth and death. Few see through the veil of Maya, which is illusion. The world, deluded, does not know that I am without birth and changeless. I know everything about the past, the present, and the future, Arjuna, but there is no one who knows me completely. The delusions arise from the duality of attraction and aversion. Every creature is deluded by these from birth. But those who have freed themselves from all wrongdoing are firmly established in worship of me. Their actions are pure, and they are free from the delusion caused by the pairs of opposites.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the questions in the chat are like, hey, what if I was a super soldier? Memories are horrific. you have to get past the horrific. And I'm thinking,
Well,
yeah, because that's the
if
biggest
you
fear.
have a
Like,
good guide, okay, if you
yeah,
have a
well,
good guide and you
yeah, but here's
uncover,
the thing, even like for myself,
right,
sometimes I question myself, am I afraid to know what I was before?
I have
You know?
absolutely, I know that there's an area of my consciousness that I don't want to go to. I know it.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
it. So yeah, I
Is-
think that that's okay. That's
Okay.
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 But bottom line is, if you go into anything, you won't go where you're not supposed to, because you're that part of you is smarter than you are. Trust that
Mm.
part of you, because it's smarter than you are, for
Mm.
real. So if you run into stuff like that, that's because you actually needed to. You were asking for that, or it wouldn't have presented itself. You want healing? If that's what needs to go down for you to heal, that's what's going to show up. So
Mm.
bottom line is, though, you need to have a good guide with you that can pull you out of the trauma of it, the physical, emotional, alchemical process that happens when these memories come in the brain. It produces a reaction in the body, because our brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. It
Yeah.
just doesn't have a clear filter between the two. So when those experiences are starting to come in, if you have a good guide, they tell you, okay, I want you to take a deep breath, focusing on my voice, and I want you to remember, these are just memories. This is not happening in real time or real life. So I want you to relax, and you get them back into a calm state where they can simply view it and they don't have to go through any of the emotional trauma. You do not need to. It's not purposeful. It serves no purpose. It's not good for your body. So that's what I mean. Get a good guide that can keep you on track with doing what you're doing, which is there to view so you can understand some things about yourself that you need to know. But you don't need to take on any of the emotional trauma. You've already done that. So that's already there. So you don't need to do that. You have a good guide and they can bring you right back into where you're just simply viewing it, but it's not rocking your world.
Okay.
Mhm.
So get a good guide.
Get a
Yeah.
grip.
Good guide. Okay.
Correct.
Get a grip, God damn it.
Yeah.
Well,
Because, you know, a
yeah.
lot of things that people see are really traumatizing. So that's the
Oh,
only way
yeah.
to get through that, is to understand that you're just viewing a memory. So that way, whoa, it calms
Get
you down
busy
to real
living
life.
or get busy dying.
Right. Right. Well, a lot of people in these processes, they experience their death.
Yes, I
So
understand.
it's common.
That was metaphorically. I didn't mean
Well,
it.
Yeah,
and I
it's
mean,
common.
how many people have woken up from a bad dream, scared to death, and then they can't remember what it was? You know, it's stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, and you think, well, what if I go there and you know, I'm on the abyss or something, and it's scary. You know, how do I get back? And you're right, you got to have that guide to pull you in. You know, to guide you.
Not only
help
that,
you
too,
along.
like I said, once you do this a couple times, you really start to understand a little bit more about what you are. And then you kind of really, that's when you can start to navigate on your own, because you don't need a guide anymore. But this is how you get there. You get there by working with others to show yourself how to do this work. Nobody's doing this for you. You're doing it yourself. But if somebody can guide you through the process and keep you on track, so you learn how to access the process within your own body and your own mind, and you learn how to stay on track and how to take on the things that you want to accomplish. But even after all of my years of being able to do it both ways, some of my most profound healing has always been with a good guide, and they have changed and helped me to heal things I don't know that I could have ever done without them. So this is when you hear the whole power of when two or more come together. This is why, because sometimes we really do need our brothers and sisters to help us walk into parts of our consciousness that we haven't been to consciously have any awareness of. And sometimes a different mindset is the only thing that can help you get into that mindset that you've been keeping from your own self. So that's, like I said, it serves its purpose to have a good guide or somebody that
When
you
the
trust.
student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Correct. Yes. And sometimes, you know, the teacher's there, but the students don't want to stop playing on recess too. So
This is
Yeah, that's
true.
what I got, a bunch of little kids in my head. I know that. No, I'm just kidding.
that might be a good thing, Steve, not a bad thing.
No.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
coming to terms and grips with your past traumas is tough if you dwell on things. That's I like to use word analogies in my own thinking. Like, the word well isn't in the word dwell for no reason.
Correct. Yeah,
If you keep
yeah,
living in a well, it's harder than hell to get out of it.
absolutely.
You
And like
can't
I
pull
said, it's
yourself out of a
really
well
hard
if there ain't no
because,
bucket and a rope to get you up there.
yeah. And it's tough because
Yeah.
that's where we take on those programs in the subconscious mind from trauma. And a lot of times,
And it becomes
we
who we are if you
it
let it.
does, it does. That's
And
the reason
adds
you
to
want to fix it.
negativity.
Yes, that's the reason you want to fix it, because if it's stifling you in any way in doing what you want to do with your life and your existence, that's when you got to go in and tackle these things and meet it head on
Yeah,
and
for sure.
face it and clean it up. And it really can. And it's very easy. It's simply a process of just using your imagination. It's really not a big deal.
And coming to terms with it, it's just the past. It ain't now, and it
You
doesn't
know what I've seen,
make you
Steve?
who you are.
What I've seen, the miracles, like when I see people activate their healing potentials in their body, it's always the same thing every single time.
Hmm.
When they look at what they looked at before they did this process created a certain emotional response in their being. And then after they go through the process and they see it from a higher perspective, that's what I mean. There's a part of you that's smarter than you, that knows more than you, and it's you. So that part of you that knows more than consciously, when they help you see it from a different position and you understand it from a different position, it changes all the neural pathway connections in the avatar. So now your body can't access those same reactions that were keeping you stuck or keeping you doubting yourself or causing trauma or whatever the reaction in the avatar is from the trauma. When you change the perception in the subconscious mind with the help of the subconscious mind, and you bring that forward into your conscious mind, and now you see it from a little bit of a different perspective, it doesn't change the information. You don't erase the information. You don't remove any information. None of that is necessary. You simply understand it from a higher place. And when you have that understanding, it literally changes everything in your physical body and physical reality. So this is the power of the subconscious mind. It literally reprograms your reality.
It's like getting rid of a virus that you'd have in your computer.
But better.
Once you
It's just
like
better.
pointing at the moon and staring at your finger.
Yeah. I've never seen anything so powerful, guys, as when the subconscious decides to make a change in the body. It's you get to see miracles. Literally, you get to actually see miracles. And it's not a miracle. I know that there's a science behind it, but it's just spiritual. So we haven't been able to document the things that are invisible that we can't see. But nonetheless, these things seem to be the most powerful tools to change what's happening in your physical world. You got to change it in the subconscious part of your mind.
All up here.
Bingo.
All up here. Well, actually, I shouldn't point here. It's just up above your head.
Mm-hmm.
That subconscious mind.
It's in the water.
It's floating
It's in
above
the blood. It's in every cell of your being. It's written in your memory codes, so you can rewrite those and transfer them into things that are actually going to benefit you rather than harm you, but you don't lose any of the wisdom. My God, you don't want to get rid of your trauma because you worked really hard to gain that information.
Hey, you went through this shit show, so you might as well come up smelling like roses and realize
you came here to learn hard lessons because it's going to benefit you. And when you can understand that from a higher place, you really do see, oh my God, I can't believe that's true. Yeah. It's really hard to see that. It really is that I really signed up to have my butt kicked like that. What was I thinking? No, but when you see this from a different place, you're like, whoa, smack, that doesn't feel the same anymore. It just doesn't feel the same anymore. It changes how you feel, and nothing's real until you feel it. So when you feel it from trauma, or you feel it from comprehension, understanding, and then you have an awareness of it in a different level, changes everything in your reality and your physical body. And that's just fact. Because the subconscious, guys, it's running it all. So we really need to learn how to work with it because it's the strongest part of you.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is.
That is so true. And I see Isby is in the house, and he's got a
Hi,
lot.
Izzy.
He's got a lot to learn. He's telling me the other day he's got brain cancer. So maybe he can use his mind to cure himself.
Well, I'm hoping that I'm going to see him in about 4 days, and that
Oh,
is
really?
on my agenda of things to do.
Oh, there you go. Agenda things to do. Cool, cool, cool. I know he called me the
Like
other
I said,
day.
I
We're
won't do it. I could just drive the school bus, but he's got to do the work.
Gotta do the work. There you go. Grandpa Brian's in the house. Hey, thanks for
Hi, Grandpa
coming.
Brian.
Pamela Jean came to
Hi,
join us
Pamela.
tonight. And Brenda Milky's mom, I hope she's
Hi,
still
Mom.
listening. She said it was good to see us all together tonight as the Trinity of Truth rides again.
Yes.
Nina the Mystic is in the house tonight. She is on tomorrow with Laura Eisenhower. That is going to be a
that's gonna
super
be
interesting
so fabulous. That's going to be
Yes.
amazing. I love Laura, and how
Yes.
awesome. Good job, Nina.
Yeah. Wow. All I can
Yeah,
say is,
that's cool.
wow, you are so lucky. Like all our heroes here, she is like,
She's wonderful.
Yeah. If you
I
ever
love
listen to
Laura.
her,
I really do. I
Wow.
think she has got the heart of
mhm,
God, a heart of a million
Yeah.
saints for real. I really
Yeah.
feel that from her. She is
she's
just
and
special.
yes, and she talks
Mhm.
good. Listen, you can hear yeah, she's just very interesting. I could just listen to her for hours.
She's a brave soul.
She is.
She is.
That way is in the house,
Hi,
and
that way.
Pa Joe
Hi,
Gaza
Pa
Cav
Joe.
all the way from Australia.
Hey.
And Lucky Smith, who has had a
Hi,
lot to
Lucky.
say tonight. Thank you,
Love.
thank you. He has had some really wing dingers in here, and I gotta remember, I almost should be taking notes on some of the stuff he says. Off
You can
D
always
Hook.
replay, love. Always replay. Yeah.
I know. So go back
Yeah.
and check his comments out because he is very smart at this stuff. Off the
Absolutely.
hook, and then go check him out on his affirmations because he
Oh,
does
I
really
love
good
them. They're
affirmations.
wonderful.
Yes, thank
They're
you.
wonderful.
S. Lee is in the house too. Delaney Pearl Jones stopped by to say hey.
Hi, Delaney. Hi, Esley.
And let's see. I think I got Mary Wins is in
Much
the house.
love to all of you.
Mary
Hi, Mary.
Wins. Let's see. I think I got everybody. But anyway, and Zigzagzilla was in here. Big Al just got home. So there you go.
Hey.
And yeah, Desert Rose. Oh, man, it's Desert
Hi,
Rose.
Desert Rose.
Anyway,
Been a long time.
It's been great. Isby says, I've been working on changing my subconscious reality. This is a way to recreate my conscious reality. Very well said.
Isby,
Yes.
we're gonna work on this. We're gonna work on this. Definitely. So
Definitely.
have faith, my friend. And it takes a team. So we're gathering the team now.
It's gonna be great. I got confidence. If anybody is full of love and light and happiness, spreading it to the world, it's Isby. He's always got a good thing to say about everybody, and always saying I love you. Putting that out there for everybody, and much prosperity and love, and he's always playing that music in the background. I love it. He's living it. That's the thing. He's living it. And and that's what I was kind of talking about earlier in the night. I says, you got to live that and keep that positive. Like I said, I picked those potatoes, I put them down, and then I thought of happy things, and I said, I love you, potatoes. Thank you for giving me nourishment. I grabbed them up and took them in the house and cooked them and ate them, and they were really good. And I felt good about it.
Yeah.
And my rest of my night was good.
This is what I love too, Robert, like your subconscious mind, your natural reactions. You're catching yourself when you get angry or upset. You're like, I don't want to feel like this. I'm choosing a different way. You're reprogramming your subconscious mind every time you take that battle on and you win and you go there. You're reprogramming your subconscious strata, because after you continue to do that over and over and over again, eventually you get to that place where you find out something that triggers your anger, and then it'll hit you for just a second and you'll be like, huh, all right, I'm over it. It's gone that quick.
That's
Because you know, I'm just
that's
going to
right.
go through this process and I'm going to have to work on shifting it, and then I'm going to feel better. But it's going to take about this long. No, after a while, you're like, okay, I've done that dance 14 times. I'm just going to do it now. And you do.
Mhm.
And then you
And-
just do it now. You're like, oh, I can get angry, but why?
That's right. And if I can do it, all you people, I'm just a regular Joe named,
Yes.
you know, and I can, if I can do it, you can do it too. And it's not
Absolutely.
killing me. I feel better about it. And
Right,
when
because you're controlling the program.
yes,
There,
exactly.
you're not letting that thing run on its own down crazy train land. You're saying, I got the steering wheel now. Guess what? I get to say where we go now, and I get to say how it's going to go. No more just it's happening to me and I have no control over it. This is how you gain control of all of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So when I
Mhm.
take my vacation soon and I come to visit Steve and we're going bowling and he kicks my ass, I'm going to say, this is wonderful. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm great.
just embrace it, because he is going to kick your butt probably, right? Because he's really good. He's
Yeah.
really
I ain't
good
that
at the
good,
whole
but
bowling
I can
thing.
bowl, but I ain't that good.
Oh,
I
Steve,
got-
you're pretty damn good.
I
I've
got about
seen your
300 bowling
numbers
balls over
sometimes.
here.
Not many people can do 300s, buddy. So yeah, you're good.
I'm going to have to step up my game. It ain't like I got a bowling alley in my backyard, you know?
Yeah, Steve's a good
I
bowler.
actually wanted to build one in my backyard, but
Oh yeah.
that's too expensive.
I do have a bowling ball though. So that you gotta give me
Oh,
credit for
right
something.
on.
You know, I used to bowl a lot, but you know, but I am going to take vacation soon, you know, someday here, maybe in October. But we've been
Right
really
on.
busy at work and working a lot and on call all the time. And the one guy's off having knee surgery. And when he gets done, I'll be set to take that vacation. I'll never be so happy. Yay. And I'm
Right
coming to see
on,
you,
Robert.
Steve.
You
Anytime,
need a
brother.
vacation.
Anytime.
That's my plan.
Anytime.
Yes, you deserve a
And
vacation. You
we'll
work
do
a lot.
something other than go in my backyard this time.
You know, I was
Right.
on my way, and it was a great stop off, and I will never forget that night. That was awesome. That was
Yeah, you
awesome.
almost lost your dog.
Yeah, well, he came back. So hey, if I
Thank
would have lost
God.
that dog, you wouldn't have a puppy.
Yeah.
And he would have
Oddly
plenty
enough,
more
that's
slippers too.
That's true. That's weird.
That's true. Yeah.
That is true.
All right,
That's
guys, I'm gonna let
Okay.
you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, we got to get
Yeah.
going. We're gonna
Thank
call
you.
it a night. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And
Much
it's been.
love.
Remember,
Thank
go
you,
out.
Trina.
Be the frequency you want to receive. Do something nice for somebody. Love y'all. Peace, everybody.
Take it easy, guys.
And there we go.